Good now?
Sorry about that. I was muted. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
I am ready.
All right. So this one was slated to be over reorder. It doesn't look like we have anybody else joining, so I can continue with that if you want, or if you have any questions since Tuesday, I'm happy to go over that with you as well.
No, I'm interested in the reorder function. So yeah, I'd like to see that one.
Yeah, certainly. All right. So the reorder function is something that allows you, or more specifically, usually customers, to take one of the assets and say that they need a new one. So typically you would have whatever it is, if you're in frac iron or in lifting and rigging, whatever, you send out an asset, the customer buys one from you, and they're using it on a day-to-day basis. They send it back, it's ready to be inspected, and you inspect it, it fails the inspection. And it fails in such a way that you have to scrap it. It's no longer good. You can't, I mean, you can send it back to them for recycling or something, but there's no way that they're going to be able to use it. So at that point, they're out an asset. They need that sling, they need that piece of iron, whatever it is. And whether it happened with you or sometimes even with another inspector or something, they need to get that new piece. So they
Hmm.
call in and they say, hey, we need a 3-inch sling. He says, that's fantastic. We sell about 450 of those. Which one do you need?
Right.
You go back and forth on them going, well, I don't know, it's the blue one. And you don't even sell a blue one. It gets real confusing trying to go back and forth, figuring out whatever's going on. So what Reorder does is, especially if you're inspecting it, but even if somebody else is, it fails and they say we need a new one, they just click a button and it says, hey, I want this exact asset and I want to send it to whoever you, as the owner of it, designates. And so they say, I want this and I want however many it is, 1, 5, 500 of this asset. And then it submits an order to you and it says, hey, this person needs exactly this asset. And it fills in all the information for you that says, here's the part number, here's the model number, here's the description of it, here's the attributes that it has, here's all the information that you put in, or
Hmm.
the customer adds if you allow them to do that, whatever. It puts straight onto that reorder for you. And so it makes it very easy then to pull that up. So let me share my screen here so we can actually see what's going on.
Okay.
Like that. So the actual reorder is usually done on mobile, especially if they're doing it via inspections. So if I
Hmm.
go over here, actually let's do it from the beginning here. So as they go in and they say, this is my account. Then go into the assets and choose whichever asset here. And then up in this top right corner, you can see my mouse, right? Oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah.
So up in the top right corner, we have the reorder button. And
Hmm.
it's going to take all this information that we have here. So it has the asset number. It would have a chip ID if we wanted it, although that's not going to be as helpful for us. Description, tags, all that good stuff. And then even over on these other tabs, so like all the different attributes, and you can see exactly what it is. So this one is specifically the black variety of it with a 2 to 10 conductor. Um, it keeps all the information for you. So we click reorder in that top right button, and it says, do you have an order number for this? And so they could either call you, or if you just have the next in line, if you have like customer name dash whatever order number, they can pick on the next one. And so they would say, ours is, oops, CUSTA dash next one in line, which would be in this case 105 or something like that.
Okay.
Quantity, this one, we only had one break, we only need one, so we'll just put in one. But they can do up to, as you can see, 9,999. I don't think we've had any customers that have done that yet. Include attributes. So this is if you're using a template that is a little bit more generic in what you're doing. So instead of saying this is a 3-inch, 3-ton sling that is 15 feet long with these specific couplings, if your asset template just says 3-inch sling, then you would normally add in more information to differentiate that between them at a later stage. So the reason that we put in that attributes, if you want it, is normally if you're doing it, you're going to do it through attributes. And so that would give you more, it would narrow down exactly what it is, as opposed to them submitting a reorder for the asset template that just says a 3-inch sling, because that doesn't help you any.
Right.
So we can go ahead and say, yes, include attributes. If they want to put in any notes, they can put that in here. There we go. And then the reorder contact. So these are people that you put in beforehand, and it has however many you want to put in. So if, for instance, they have a very specific person that they normally go to in your sales department, or you want it to go to a specific, maybe accounts payable for them or for a region, or you want everything to go to you, or they're supposed to go to a third-party vendor, whatever it is, they can go ahead and select that contact here. So I'm going to do this guy. And then they press reorder. And it's going to say, do you want to save this? Nothing's going to happen until you go back and you press sync. Because keep in mind, on the mobile, it keeps everything local until you press sync. So they can also do this if somebody's out like on a rig or something. They can do the reorder, and then at the end of the time, if it's not an urgent one, they go through, they do 3 weeks or whatever, and they come back and they press sync. That's when it goes ahead, I guess, and processes all the reorders.
Right. Okay.
So we're going to click yes, and it's going to send Brandon an email because I did not add myself as a contact for this. Let's go ahead and synchronize here so that it syncs up and we can see it on the web in just a second. There you go, it's almost done uploading. And if you wanted to, like I said, you can do this for multiple assets. So we could do the reorder for that, go ahead and do the next one on 44C, reorder, and then at the end of it, once they're all done, we can go in and sync it back down. So let's see, now if we go over to here, I believe this is the same account. So we can go to asset management, and then down on this left-hand side, we have reorder tracking. Reorder tracking is what you're going to use to actually figure out where everything is, as well as a couple of other small things in there. So we have a couple different reorders on here, and you can see right now they're all sent, but they're unread. So we can go into any particular one here, this, and it's going to say the order number. Am I on the wrong account? I think I might be on the wrong account here. Logged in.
Yeah.
So these all show reorder 1, but ours was the upper one. So it'll have the order number here, who the contact was, how many they want to do, and whether or not it includes attributes. And then these are for us to mess with. So this is to kind of make it a little bit easier to keep track. A lot of people have their own order system in here that they use, and so they end up not using our side of it because they have a more robust version of it. But you can go in and say, all right, this has now been read, and we're ready. So we've received one, and then the next person comes in and they say, okay, we've shipped it. You can't really ship partial on one, but we've shipped it. And then once you save it, when you go back, you can look through and you can sort it by who did what. So we have the sent received. In this case, it's been sent and it's been shipped. We can say it was under whoever it was, customer 1, and then what status it's in. So you can narrow it down and keep track of it that way. And then you can also do it in here. So you would order it in, whatever the piece was, or manufactured if you're manufacturing it yourself. You ship it out to them, you mark it as shipped, and you're done.
Okay.
Let's see. Any questions on how that works? Or anything you want to say on it?
No, on the reorder function, if let's say my client has a read-only account with us, but they can view certs, would they have, if they realize this particular item, I know it's damaged, I don't need to have an inspector out here, but I want to reorder, and maybe he doesn't want to call, or he wants to, could he do it through the online database, or can it only be done through the mobile app?
Yeah, so there's actually a couple different ways to do it. You can do it online. So if we go and they can actually do it straight from this screen. So if we look up asset number, I want everything that has a 1, 2, 3 in it. That's a
Mhm.
lot of things. All right, that's fine. And we go to here and say, I want to select all of these. Up in this top right, we have the mass action button, and we can reorder from here. So I can say all of these I know I'm going to need more of. So I'm just going to say reorder, order number like that. I want 2 of each one, and the contact is contact1 at Gmail. I want to include the attributes. No notes on this one. Press save. It's going to take just a minute because it has to do 10 reorders on there. But then when I go into here and I say reorder tracking, now they're popping up here. And so it
Okay.
shows
And
each one.
can you show me where the attributes are? So like say like you said the 3-inch by 15-foot whatever. Um, okay, that's the function right there, and then all the
Yeah, it should.
asset capture will be in the
Yeah,
bottom. Okay.
exactly. And brings you over to the asset.
Okay.
Weird filter on there right now. Oops. And so it should. This one should be bringing us straight over to. Oh yeah, that's why I had the wrong asset thing in there. Well, no, it's not. Hold up. Clear search. Hmm. It's not showing up with the records at all now. I think I may have. I think I may have broke it. Let me log back in real quick. But that is how you can do multiple at a time, and you can do that with as you saw, I broke it into lines for each one anyway. So you can either
Mhm.
do multiple at a time, or if you want to do one by one because the search criteria doesn't match up, or whatever the case may be, you
Okay.
can also do them one by one up in that top corner, or from inside the asset detail page, if my internet would load for us to be able to go in there and see.
Right. Okay.
Let's see. So let me search other things. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my asset page right now. It is not wanting to cooperate.
Okay, so generally speaking, though, once you click on that icon, it'll bring up that all the attributes of that specific item, and then the salesperson who gets the request can know for sure what exactly is needed.
Exactly, yes. So it'll pull up, it'll have the email and it'll have it in that location. And it says, hey, here's the asset that you had. It's going to have the asset number, the serial number, all the basic information at the top. And then if you click on that, include attributes, then it'll also put that in the email for them. And
Okay,
then you can also access it this way.
gotcha. Okay. Um, and so you mentioned something about you can put in other, I guess, OEMs or something like that. If you customer, you can set up different email accounts for your customer to choose from if they have 1 or 2 sales reps that they deal with, or
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can't add contacts themselves, can they, if they're in a read-only mode?
That's correct. The customer cannot. So you can see right here, these are the contacts that I have in, and these are the people
Mm.
that showed up, not on the iPad because it's a separate account, but when I did the mass action reorder that was up in the top right, it came up with just these 2. So these are the ones that it had in there. And then you can change that. So right now it's on my tenant, but if I want different customers to have different contacts, so I was reordering under my own account there. But if I
Okay.
want, for instance, if I want customer 1 to have specific contacts in there, I can go in here, create new, put in the contact, put in the email address, all that good stuff. And so you can customize each person to have specific list of contacts that they can talk to.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. I think if I got any other questions about the reorder. How many of your clients utilize that reorder function?
That is a good question. I do not have a hard number off the top of my head because I mostly work with the newer clients as they come on.
Okay.
We do have a few. The problem is most of our clients don't use it because most of our clients don't do manufacturing.
Hmm.
And so if they're only doing like inspections or something like that, there's no reason for them to use the reorder. So
Yeah.
it's not a huge percentage of our customers, but I know we have a solid couple of them, somewhere between probably 10 and 25 would be my guess.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I would see, with um, us being able to potentially utilize this, especially if we can get more of our clients in a read-only mode and we can go and inspect their rigging. So yeah, no, I could feel like this is something that we could utilize or have them have our clients avail, understand it, and then kind of make things a little more streamlined for them if they need it.
Yeah, definitely. The first step is getting the customer on board and getting them used to going online and looking up assets that way. And then you
Right.
can transition to this. That way you don't have people calling in, and it's a lot easier to just receive a request than it is to have the salesperson sitting there for a half hour trying to figure out what they have, how many they want, where they want it delivered to, all that good stuff.
Right. 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 Okay. Um, trying to think if I've got any other questions. I think so far it seems, it's right in line with the older platform, but just with a lot of nice new features to it. So I'm starting to get a lot more familiar with the format and where everything's located and how to deal with it. So I'm starting to feel good about the transition into the new platform.
Yeah, a lot of the features are the same. It's just a different layout and with fewer restrictions on it. So it definitely takes a little bit of time to get used to where everything is and what you can and can't do. But a lot of the actual base layer stuff is going to be largely the same.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else for you. If not, I think I'm good for today. I might jump on one more webinar on Thursday. Or what are your plans for Thursday? Do you have any idea what that might go over just yet? Or
For next Thursday?
yes, I'm sorry, not for today's. I'm thinking today's Tuesday. For Tuesday next week.
Yeah, certainly. Actually, on the InfoChip website, we have the monthly schedule, and there's supposed to be one that was
Okay.
going out with our release notes, but I think that got messed up a little bit on the email. So we have Tuesday is going to be a basic introduction. We do a couple of these every month, just so every time a new customer comes in, they always have access to it. And then on Thursday, we're going to be going over a little more in depth on forms.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested on forms. In depth. Okay. All right. Good deal, Paul. I appreciate your webinar today. I'll have some good information to report back to the rest of the management team. And I sent Christian and Braden an email yesterday. They haven't responded back yet, but I'll ping them again regarding when can we. I tried like downloading the desktop version.
Mm-hmm.
And that, but I don't have an account set up. I don't know if we use the old account number or if a new one's got to be made. So I'll wait to hear back from them unless you know that now.
Yeah, you'll need one if you want one set up in production. If you want one that they're actually going to be using in production, you'll need to download it from a production account. So there is a difference between if you download it off the Sandbox account, that desktop will not be able to sync to a production account. So we'll need to get you a production login, make sure everything's set up that way, and then you can download it off there.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
But I'll make sure to hop on them and let them know that we need to get that started.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Well, I will see you, sounds like next Tuesday or Thursday, and let
Yes,
us know
sir.
if you have any problems.
You got it. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye.